You could do everything right. Get a degree, get a good career, get hell, you can even be in your grinding stage, working 80 hours a week, and you still can't escape that. How is that even possible? How? And that's the average person. That's the average man now. How? Well, for one, before before you even before you even hit the stage where you're aware of life, most people in your life are already pushing you towards red. Red as in you're down in the negative, kind of like the stock market, green and red. By me saying most people are pushing you towards red, you turn 18, just graduated high school. What are most people in your life saying? Hey man, you need to go get a degree. Hey man, you need to get a degree. You don't have the money for it, right? Before you don't have the money for it. People are pushing you towards that. And you don't even know what you want to study. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know what you want to study. People are pushing you towards that. Think about that for a sec. So, student loan before your first paycheck. That's actually crazy before your first paycheck. Before you even touch green, you're touching red. That's what that means. And then, hell, even in college, you got credit cards being pushed towards you. You got credit card being pushed towards people, guys that don't even know what APRs stand for. You know what I'm saying? APR is just annual percentage rate. By the way, knowing that it's annual percentage rate doesn't do anything for you. You have to know what it actually means. You know what I'm saying? And credit card has that. It basically interest. Basically, nah. Just saying interest doesn't even cut it. Like saying, oh, 6%. Well, meeting a credit card. Nah, it's probably like 10% or 7%, whatever. Just saying, oh, the interest rate is 9%, 10%, whatever, doesn't mean anything to most people because they don't understand it. Base to explain it for you to understand, it's the cost it's the cost. How much is going to cost you of how much you borrow, basically. So, because here's the thing, people, guys, because it wasn't, they didn't teach you in high school. Obviously, they didn't teach you in high school. So when you get to college, hell, depending even on your major, depending on the major, maybe you might learn a little about it, but not really. You know, it's how much you're gonna be paying for how much you borrow. That's what it is with the credit card. Especially credit card interest rate is the whew, whew. Notice when I said what did I say? I said 6%, then I went to like, oh no, maybe 16% or 15%. Yeah. Yeah, that's as high it goes, man, when it comes to credit cards. And what you're not realizing is once you're starting on red, you're behind for life. You're behind for life because student loan and credit card debts are the two major one that they try to get you early on it, man. They're trying to get you early on it. You're not working for one, right? You're not working for long. You're not working. Cool. Let's say all things go well. You didn't actually drop out of college. You know, you that guy, you know. Hell, maybe you even chose a good career path like a lawyer. You actually did everything. You went to the prerequisite. Maybe uh your major was criminal justice. Then you went to law school. Did that 3 years. Law school is 3 years, right? Depends how if you went for there full time, whatever. So you know you did everything right. Got your degree. You know, You did your interview for your job for a good law firm. Everything's going good, you know, and you got the job. Hell, you're starting at 100K per year. And I know I'm going out. There's a reason why I'm choosing a guy that graduated high school, that went for something that actually matters in life, and he's making 100K as his entry level salary job. You know, he's making 100. So I'm picking all the good things, the highest it could be. Everything's going right. The reason I'm showing you that is because, like, even when you do everything right, it still goes a little crazy. You got the job, right? How you gonna get there? How you gonna get there? Because more than likely, you you live outside the city. Your job is like downtown area. Yeah, that's where the good law firms are. Especially if you live like in New York or uh, Los Angeles, Miami. The major cities. You need a car. Congratulations, you need a car. A car. Guess what? That costs money. Money you don't have. And before you know it, you got student loan, credit cards, because let's face it, you in college, it's being pitched to you before you even know. It's being pitched to you before you even know how it works, basically. So you've been using it during college, and you hit the mark where you're an average person, where you owe on your credit card what, it's under 10,000, but it's above 6,000, so around 7,000. That's the average credit card debt. You're right there. And student loan also. Now a car. And here's the mindset that how the system is rigged against you, basically, with the if this is why I have notes, to be honest with you. And once you buy that car, again, even if you do things right, maybe you don't buy a new car. You buying a used car. Okay, in a way, kind of great choice. You're trying to find something cheap that works from point A to B. Okay, especially how things are now. Okay, you know your salary for the year is going to be 100K, but like I said, school don't really teach you things. You don't realize you're not actually gonna collect that 100K for yourself. There's something called taxes you have to pay on it. You know what I'm saying? So that's there. Your first year, your first year in reality, you're going to learn that, obviously. And got your student loan, got your car note, got your credit card debts, etc. And the two main ones, student loans, and credit cards. You paying your student loan throughout the year, and then you realize it's not really going down. It's the same thing with the car, that maybe you got a good deal. Maybe you found a used car for 10K. For 10K, right? And I'm only using, actually, no, that's even me being too nice. Because I'm looking at from things from today's aspect. Maybe you find a car under 15K. You still gotta take out a loan for it. There's still gonna be an interest rate on it. And because, you know, you might be what? So you might be 24, right? I'll be 24. So your credit is not that great. Maybe 20, maybe you're 23. Maybe you graduated. Maybe you fast paced your bachelor's and then you went to law school. Maybe you're 23. And I don't know why I just laugh at that, because that's just life, man. C'est la vie. And because your credit, you're only 23, banks are gonna look at you like, do we actually trust this person with, you know, with however much you need to buy the car under 15K, and then also your credit card and student loan, etc. Look at your credit history. Maybe you paying, maybe you paying things, you doing things right. Maybe you pay things on time. Okay, you get approved. Of course, there's always gonna be interest rate in the car. Maybe it's around, maybe it's under 10%, but above 5% for the card. And things are going right for you, man. You're doing well at your new job, but it's a lot of hours. New guy. Maybe you get hazed a little bit, and you don't actually do the math the first couple of months, and then you just started to notice things like, hold on, I'm not able to save money. Not able to save money. Is it because I'm spending way too much money? Again, we're going with someone who's actually doing things right by society standards. And you start to do the math and you're like, I'm not making any profit every the month. When I get paid, everything goes to my credit card debt, my student loan, and my car note. Plus, I got my regular bills, rent, and lights, etc., phones, the normal stuff. And here's the thing, because you're always trying to catch up monthly, you can never, ever really get off the credit card debt because you're making minimum payment on it. And you just think into your head, how did I even get there? Well, here's one thing. Here's one of the main thing I want to say. You got there because you're doing everything right by society's standard. You're doing everything right, man. And then here's one other thing I really want to talk about. This whole illusion of good debt. Especially now, because like, what was it? I had something I wrote down. Let me see. Yeah. You know how people be saying, "Oh, a mortgage is good debt. It's good. It's good that you're a real estate investor at this point. This student loan is bad debt, but with mortgages, it's good debt. But let's face it, man. In reality, man, good debt is just bad debt with a good PR. That's what it is. Uh, And a way to explain this is like, look at today's on how much houses are. What is it? The average. No. Actually, I'm gonna look at this up right now because I remember it was high. Average house price USA 2025. Holy! Oh man, listen to this, man. The average sale price of a new house sold in the U.S. was four. Oh man, I can't even say the number because that's crazy. $487,000 and $300 in July. That was in July. 487,000 and $300. That's Imagine you buy a house that price. Mind you, you get a 30-year mortgage. Mind you, the interest on it is probably high right now. Is interest higher? Yeah, most. It don't matter if it's high or low. It don't matter because at the end of the day, that number, that's not the number you're gonna be paying off. Majority of your monthly payment is going towards interest. And this is what people don't understand. Like, how is it good debt when majority of payment? I'm going by today's standard. You're paying majority of your monthly payment is going towards interest, right? Maybe you get to year 30, right? Maybe. And you're finally paying it off. And then when you look at how much you paid off in total, since that was the average, more than likely, depending on your interest rate, by the time you're done, you'll pay off $1 million. Yes. Yes. By the time you're done, you'll pay off $1 million. Depending on your interest. I'm estimating here. Yes. I'd be like, how the hell does that even make sense? Interest. There's a cost to borrow money. Hell, that's if you even get approved for the loan nowadays. Because I talk about this on my other videos to where this person was a nurse, have a good credit score, which is 800, and they couldn't get it approved for their loan. You know what I'm saying? For their mortgage loan, which is ridiculous. Good debt. That's like saying that's like saying that's like saying you missing an arm. You were in some crazy war, and God forbid your arm been blown off, and some dude just passed you by. Oh, it's a good thing you missing your arm. What? Now you can work on the other arm, make it stronger. How is that a good thing? And that's the thing that most guys don't realize. You can say it, the system's rigged, the system is against you, but because when you're starting out on life, you don't know. You don't know because you're 18 years old. You don't know. You don't really know anything about life. You're following what's being, the trend. Most people are pushing you towards certain things. Again, the red, which is man, and it's real life. I already gave a couple of real life examples of this. You got guys working 2 jobs, still not saving. People say paying their student loan for 20 years. They're still not done paying off their student loan. And there's a reason why I used a lawyer. Because you did everything right, man. You went and got a good degree. You got a good job. And it's paying you right off the bat $100K. I'm giving you best case scenario here. And you still can't pay your debt off. You're chained by, like, debt nowadays is, you hear it all the time, it's modern slavery. It, it is. It is. Because the only difference is, like, sure, you don't have chains, but you do have invisible. Invisible. I laugh. I don't know why I laugh. I laugh like that. It's because it's invisible. That's why I kind of chuckle at it, because people don't realize because it's invisible, you don't really care about it. You don't really try to take it off because it's invisible. It's invisible chains, man. It's invisible shackle, whatever. That's what it is. And the thing is, man, how do you even escape it? You know, I wrote down a couple of uh actual things you could do. How could you even escape it? Well, for one, the main thing is you don't want to start wrong. And it's hard to not start wrong because people are pushing you towards the red, right? It's hard. But if, for one, you're watching this video, obviously, and you might be one of the lucky one, maybe you're still in high school. There's something called not being a consumer. You know what I'm saying? Not being a consumer, that's the best thing you could do, man. That's the best thing you can do. And before you say, what do I mean by that? Well, for one thing, uh, you don't need to buy everything, man. You don't need to buy certain things that your friends have. You don't need to buy that. You know what I'm saying? And no matter how much money you make, the best thing I could say is try to be a minimalist. Minimalist, what it really means is you're living way beyond under your means. That's what it really is. That's the best route I could give you. Let's say I'm gonna stick with the lawyer here. Making 100. Let's say you did go to school, right? But the way you did it, you made sure you got scholarships. Let's say you got after you got your scholarship and grants, it's only paying 75% because you still gotta go to law school. And I'm giving you the best case, and I'm giving you a way where you have to go to a secondary school after you get your bachelor degree, whatever. Let's say it's only paying 75%. You could, not even you could, you have to. There's law firms that do this. Like if you're going for a lawyer, there's hospital that do this. To where if you kind of like already have this plan to where you're going to work for them after you graduate, let's say after you become a lawyer, or after, well, a lawyer after you graduate your law school and then you pass the bar exam, and you made this commitment to them to where, hey, after I try to pass my the bar exam, I'm going to work for you guys, or they can pay the 50, like since they were paying 75% for you, right? They can pay the rest. Oh hell, they can even pay. They could say, oh hey, well, give you 50% of the whatever that. Basically, like they'll cover 50% of your. Why am I losing my train of thought, man? 50% of your schooling, so to where everything is already paid off, since your grants and your scholarship is already paying 75%. The other percentage, you can in pocket that. You can in pocket that. Believe it or not, there's where, hell, when I was uh in school, there was scholarships to where there's a lot of scholarship, man. Scholarships where it doesn't even make sense to where, oh hey, you're going to be the first one in your family to go to college. Cool. We'll give you some grant for that. Things like that. Look for things like that. Second thing, that's just if you want to decide to go to college and you're going for something good. That's the best thing I can say. Look for grants and scholarship. Even if you don't get a full ride, whatever career path you're going on, doctor, lawyer, engineer, something that actually matter. Look for a company that's willing to cover your schooling. Even if it's only 15%, 20%, or however. That's why you gotta look for all of them. Before you know it, 100% that's covered. So you're not in red. I'm gonna focus on the two main killers of, the average American, when it comes to debt. So that student loan is covered if you decide to go to school. Credit cards. Well, for one, credit cards. Like I said, make sure you know what it means to actually have a credit card. If once you first start, know what the interest rate is. Know that's, oh, this is how much they're gonna be charging me for borrowing $200 monthly, whatever. No. And know, like, the main thing I could say, if you just put it in your head when it comes to credit cards, is never go above 30% of your credit limit. Meaning, if your credit limit is $100, never pass $30. You know what I'm saying? Never pass $30. You shouldn't even be touching $30. So monthly, you better be only using $20. And I'm keeping the number lows because more than likely your first credit card, your credit limit won't be that high. Like my first credit card, my credit limit was $500. Yeah, it was exactly $500. So it's $500, man. And because it's $500, I had to learn it the hard way. No, actually, no, I didn't have to. I didn't have because I never used it when it was $500. That's the thing. I never used it when it was $500. It was not when it kept, increasing. When it went to 3,000, then 5,000, then 10,000. And I don't know if if it's like mi- mind thing or brain thing, man. But when you see that your credit limit is increasing because most bank most bank will increase it after certain years without even your knowledge, no, without asking. Sure, you can after a couple of years, depending on the bank, you can call them. Hey, I want to increase my credit limit, whatever. Just because it increased to 10,000 doesn't mean you got 10,000, man. You don't have 10,000 to spend. That's not your money. That's not your money. And this is why the average credit card debt is around 7,000 because most people probably do have a 10,000 credit limit, $10,000 credit, 10,000 credit, whatever, on the credit cards, and they think it's theirs. It's not yours. They probably maxed it out, right? They maxed it out. Now they're making minimum payment each month, and that interest keep going up. Before you know it, by the time you're done paying it off, if you even get there, maybe you'll crash out and stop paying the minimum payment, and then they shut it down. And just because they shut it down doesn't mean like you're not gonna still be paying them. You're gonna be paying them. It's just you can't no longer use that credit card. That's what it will goes to. That's the thing, man. Most guys don't understand this. And again, I'm not this crazy financial what expert or guru or advisor. No, it's just like those are the things that I had to learn. Some of them I learned the hard way. Some of them like I learned by being cheap, minimalist. Remember, be a minimalist. You be cheap, man. Yes, the, I don't care what anybody say. If you're a guy, right? Hopefully, that's probably most people that watch my video. Guys, it's okay to be cheap. Be cheap. That's the only way you're gonna actually save money in this economy, man. Be cheap. You don't need to take. Listen, man. You don't need to be going to a dinner date that's really fancy, really whatever, because you want to get points on your credit card and you're taking someone you just met like 2 days ago. Come on, man. What are we doing? Be cheap. Be cheap. And and again, I'm just saying be cheap as in compared to your income on how much you're making. If you're making 100K a year, if you're making 100K a year, again, you don't, that's not how much you actually taking home. Hence tax, like, and also depends what state you live. God forbid you have state tax, federal, etc. And if you have a business, or not even gonna get into that because like, good luck with that. And what was the last thing I wanted to say, man? At the end of the day, bro, the only thing you could do is be a minimalist, avoid student loan of all costs because it can be avoided. I gave you a bunch of ways: scholarship, grants, going to the workplace that the company that might pay it off for you, and credit cards. I said, learn what APR mean, learn the interest rate, learn what it costs, learn not even learn anymore because I already told you never go above 30% of your credit limits, man. Most people don't know that. That as soon as you hit the 30% of your credit, your credit score is gonna be affected, and more than likely, you don't have that that 30% each month to pay it off at once. This is what I'm saying. Don't even attempt to do it. Hell, if you're gonna have a credit card, your limit is 10,000, man. I'm gonna just say this, man. Never pass $150. Yes, if you have a 10,000 credit limit on your credit card, never pass 150. Never. So basically, what I'm saying, your credit card, because you want to use it to increase your credit score, etc. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Use it for gas. Use it for maybe dinner. Nah, you a minimalist, man. Don't go to the restaurant or scam. Don't go to any of them. So either way, keep it 100 under 150. So you can always be able to pay up monthly off at once. And I would say, I'm not saying that every month you should have this expense of 150 on your credit card. You don't have to. If uh if you don't need to use it, don't use it. Like the video.